Hey y'all, Instinct Survivalist coming to you again with another 2-Tip Tuesday. Hey, this time we'll be talking about stoves and containers. Bill, we already did containers. I know, this is a different type of container this time. So we want to look at it broken into the two different areas, and there's a specific reason. This will also be our base for the Bushcraft Cooking Series that we're doing as well. Those won't be every single week, but we're going to try to expand those out and try to get some more for you. So let's look at the breakdown of the stove, and then we'll break down the container. So the stoves, you know, my first go-to, or my first hope, if you will, is start a fire, get it going, and cook from there. You can do bannock on it, you can do grilled food, grilled meats, you can throw a can of soup into the fire and have it cook. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But there are some times when, number one, you can't do that, and I look at fire restrictions here in Georgia. And number two, like it is today, and I had to get outside just to do this, but like it is today, rain, okay? Yes, you can start a fire. It's not as easy. So what do you do as a backup plan if you're out in the bush or out in the wild, if you will? One thing to do is actually use like these butane propane mix stoves that fold up real nicely, or pack inside of the little box, and you can put that down in my bush pot. We'll talk about that in a moment. This is the stove from Pathfinder School, or Self-Reliance Outfitters. You got the Trangias, and you can actually use those hand in hand. Or this other one that I've got a lot of stoves. My wife has said you get too many, no more. But I've got the little German stove that folds out, and you put the tablet on, the Esbit tablet. But this is one I invested in from a Kickstarter. It's from Quick Stove. And so I can put my pot on top of it, sit it up there, or I can take and flip it over if I'm just doing a cup. Now this one, this is not to get you to go to Kickstarter, but it does come with two tablets, if you will. But once you've run out of these tablets, you can use wood. It's got a little plate or a little stand inside of it as well. And then the reason I even point this one out, because if we take our pot, we can nest it. And the reason being, and the reason I even talk about this, is because the ability to go in and nest things makes it easier to pack it or pack it down. So I take my MSR Seagull, and there was a lot of things I was packing in that for a while. I still use this one quite often. Thanks, Maverick, I appreciate it. I put cordage in there, I may put a stove in there, I may put some other stuff, food-wise, dry stuff. So I did coffee in there as well. For this other one, I haven't taken this one out yet and tried it, just mainly because I haven't. But then you look at the other side, or you look at the other one, going back to the traditional stuff, and you've got the Hiker's Backpackers mess kit. You can use that with a mesh bag, and you can put stuff in there. Or if you really want to go traditional, you'll do something like a cast iron skillet, that being another example. So when we look at stoves as a whole, we have to have the right tool to cook. Okay, that's what it boils down to. Then you start breaking into what container am I going to use based off of the condition, or based off of the thing I want to do. If I'm just boiling water, I can do my container here, and this is where we looked at some of the earlier ones. The other side of that is if you're doing like a Kelly kettle, you can use those. It's just not been a day for filming, guys, so I apologize up front. I should have apologized at the beginning, but I've got planes, I've got sirens, I got people, anyway. So there's the other way to do that. And the other side of it comes down to, is if we take our bush pot as an example, and this being my primary now, I may want to go in and have multiple functionalities. So if I'm just doing water, again, the container here, but if I look at my bush pot, I can take my cup, and I have an extra belt that I take with me it's a utility belt, for lack of a better term, a leather belt with a nice buckle on it. I can stick that down the bottom, stick this in there so it's not connected to the bottom, and then use this as a baking tool. So we start expanding out from things like a regular Dutch oven or a cast iron Dutch oven to kits, and the usability of those different kits in different scenarios, and making sure that we have the ability to, if we catch something, cook it. If we trap something, we can cook it. If it's something we bring from the house, we have the ability to cook it, either with a stove and a quick setup, if you will, again, going backpackers stuff, hiking stuff, or if we're actually looking at true bush cooking, using a fire in the situation with, okay, I can use my tripod, I can use my fire set, I can use just the regular fire to put this in it and then have it cook. I can set my skillet, cast iron, on it so it just cooks that way. Multiple ways to look at that. However, let's take one step further. One other piece of crucial gear, and so here's your extra tip, if you will. One other piece of crucial gear that you're going to need for cooking in the bush is some type of utensil. Now, I carry the Cricut Cricut Eating Tool XL, which is the extended one. The thing I don't like about it is just the wide mouth on it. I can still use it, works great, got the multiple pieces on it, that's good. Or if I'm in the bush, we've got something that you make, right? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And then the other side is maybe I need a spatula. So I can go in and just flatten off a piece of wood and use that as a spatula. And this was actually a gift to me from the Sherpa, Survival Sherpa, Todd Walker. Hey buddy, still loving it. I've actually used it a couple of times and will continue to use it. So that's where we start looking at breaking out the two different areas and the two tips, your stove and your containers, but a different type of container this time, simply for the purpose of going in and having the ability to make my food. Not just go in and say, oh, well, I'm going to carry a can of soup, or I'm going to carry ramen noodles and beef jerky, which is my go-to if I'm just in a quick overnight ramen noodles, beef jerky. I can use this and it works just fine. I don't have to carry everything else, so this entire kit is it. I'll throw it in the fire, I'm good to go. If I want to go beyond that, maybe I want to make a stew, maybe I want to make use some fresh vegetables, potatoes. If I want to find some edibles, then I can use those. If I want to do dandelion soup, if you will, or dandelion tea, or fill in the blank, right? Being able to go in and expand out based off of what you're looking for in the bush, as well as what I may have brought from home. So other than that, guys, that's it. Hey, thanks for all you do. Thanks for all the likes, subscribes, comments. Please make sure that you comment below. I want to expand out some of the other things. Since we're moving on to our Bushcraft Cooking Series, as well as our True Tip Tuesday, give me some ideas. What do you want to see cooking? And don't sit here and say, oh, I want you to catch a rabbit and go out. Come on, guys. Give me something reasonable first. As I can do those things, as I can trap, as I can catch, as I can hunt, then I'll be glad to do those. But I hear you on those, okay? That's my favorite: squirrel, rabbit, deer, the list goes on. So let's go with some of the other comments to help me go in and maybe what you want to see. I know one comment that was made, and I've actually got it written down, and I cannot remember the name of it, which is why I write it down. But basically it's potatoes and bacon, and that's all I'm going to say about it. All right? Lady gave me a suggestion. Fantastic, gotta try it, gonna try it. So bacon. So put your comments below. Don't forget to like. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. If you don't like it, then okay, give me the thumbs down. I don't care. Or better still, be constructive and tell me why you didn't like it. What didn't you like about it? Okay? So hey guys, until then, use your instincts to survive. Thanks for watching. Really, another plane? Another plane. Another plane. We're talking about 10 planes already this morning.